Sweet dreamers, welcome to a new magical story. Today's story is about polar bear adventure under the northern lights. Once, in the far, cold north, lived a polar bear named Bjorn and his little polar bear cub, Bjorn. They resided in a beautiful ice palace surrounded by sliding icebergs and glistening snowflakes. On a clear night, while the sky was illuminated by the magical northern lights, Bjorn and Bjorn decided to embark on an adventure. They knew something special was about to happen. They quietly sneaked outside and witnessed the beautiful green and pink lights dancing in the sky. It seemed as though the lights were whispering and telling stories. Bjorn began to giggle and extended his little paw to touch the lights, but they were too far away. Bjorn, with a smile on his face, picked up Bjorn and started to walk. They wandered across gleaming snowfields and met friendly animals along the way. They encountered a playful Arctic fox, which leapt into the air with its tail, and a curious seal peeking at them from an ice hole. As the night progressed, they made their way back to their ice palace. The northern lights still danced in the sky, but now it seemed to say, "It's time to rest." Bjorn and Bjorn snuggled into their warm ice bed and listened to the gentle rustling of the wind outside. The lights in the sky winked at them like goodnight kisses. And as they drifted to sleep, they knew the world was full of adventures, both big and small, and that their love and adventures would always continue, even in their dreams. The Ice Queen. In the icy north, Bjorn and Bjorn hadn't just been on an adventure under the enchanting northern lights. There was so much more to discover. This night, they would experience something truly extraordinary. As Bjorn and Bjorn slumbered deeply, something magical occurred. The air was tinged with enchantment, and suddenly, a magnificent, shimmering ice queen appeared before them. Her eyes sparkled like stars, and her crown was made of glistening ice crystals. The Ice Queen smiled kindly at Bjorn and Bjorn. "I am the guardian of the northern lights," she whispered, "and you have admired my dancing lights. But tonight, I have a special task for you." Bjorn and Bjorn gazed in astonishment at the Ice Queen and nodded in agreement. "What would you like us to do?" Bjorn asked. The Ice Queen told them about a beautiful star high in the night sky, known as the North Star. She explained that this star was a source of hope and happiness for all the animals in the north, and their task was to ensure that the North Star always shone. She handed Bjorn and Bjorn a glistening ice crystal that resembled a frozen tear. "This ice crystal is the key to the North Star," she said. "You must take it to the top of the tallest iceberg and place it there in front of the star. If you do so, the North Star will always watch over this land." Bjorn and Bjorn felt honored to undertake this important mission. They nodded to the Ice Queen and set out immediately on their journey to the tallest iceberg, which loomed in the distance. Along the way, they encountered their friends, the Arctic fox and the seal. They shared their mission to protect the North Star and asked if their friends would like to help. The Arctic fox and the seal enthusiastically agreed and provided Bjorn and Bjorn with wise guidance on how to reach the summit of the iceberg. Together, they climbed higher and higher, traversing snowy hills and icy glaciers. Eventually, they reached the top of the tallest iceberg, where the North Star shone brighter than ever before. Bjorn placed the shimmering ice crystal before the star, and it began to radiate with a magnificent glow. The Ice Queen reappeared, wearing a smile. "You haven't disappointed my trust. The North Star will now shine forever thanks to your courage and dedication." Bjorn and Bjorn gazed at the brilliant North Star, knowing they had accomplished something special. With their friends, they reveled in the magical display of the northern lights filling the night sky. As the night drew to a close and it was time to bid farewell to the Ice Queen, Bjorn and Bjorn promised to always believe in the power of friendship, love, and dreams. The Ice Queen smiled and said, "You have discovered the secret of the North, and your hearts will forever be filled with magic." Back in their own ice palace, Bjorn and Bjorn fell asleep with a sense of wonder and gratitude for all the adventures they had experienced. They knew that the world was full of magic, even when they closed their eyes. The magical ice palace. After the thrilling adventure with the Ice Queen and the North Star, Bjorn and Bjorn were even more eager to explore the world around them. They awoke the next morning with smiles on their faces, ready for a new day full of wonders. As the sun rose and the icebergs began to glisten, Bjorn and Bjorn decided to take their friends, the Arctic fox and the seal, on a journey to a mysterious and enchanting ice castle they had long admired from a distance. It was surrounded by a sparkling lake and seemed to come straight out of a fairy tale. Together with their friends, they glided across the icy lake, where they saw ice crystals and glittering fish beneath the ice. It was like walking on a frozen dream. Upon arriving at the enchanting ice castle, they were greeted by a friendly ice fairy, She told them that the castle was called the Magical Ice Palace, and that it was accessible only to those who believed in the power of friendship, love, and dreams. The ice fairy took them on a tour of the palace, where they discovered beautiful halls and rooms, all made of glistening ice and adorned with sparkling ice crystals. In one of the rooms, there were exquisite ice sculptures of animals representing nature. As the evening fell, the ice fairy invited them to share a special feast. They enjoyed delicious ice cookies and ice lemonade, while the ice fairy regaled them with stories of adventures she had experienced in the enchanting north. After the feast, the ice fairy asked if Bjorn, the Arctic fox, and the seal would like to partake in a special dance beneath the shimmering northern lights. They went outside, and the sky came alive with dancing lights, just like the time they had protected the North Star. They danced and laughed beneath the enchanting spectacle of the northern lights, and it felt as though the whole world was part of their joy. As the night drew to a close and it was time to bid farewell to the magical ice palace, Bjorn and Bjorn promised that they would always believe in the power of friendship, love, and dreams. The ice fairy smiled and said, "You have discovered the secret of the north, and your hearts will forever be filled with magic." Back in their own ice palace, Bjorn and Bjorn fell asleep with a sense of wonder and gratitude for all the adventures they had experienced. They knew that the world was full of magic, even when they closed their eyes. So, dear adventurers, remember that in your dreams and in your heart, adventures always await. Dream big, believe in friendship and love, and let your heart shine like the northern lights. Good night.